Heyo!
Hello.
Hello. As you can see, David suddenly got better looking and transitioned. And
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
yes, that's Dave's story, and he's sticking with it. Dave abandoned us. He says he's occupied with work or something. And
It's always an
but
excuse with him.
yeah,
Something or
it's
other, work and real job stuff.
yeah, but I mean, I say he really didn't want to meet you. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's preoccupied, but I have to, yeah, rub in a bit because he has for weeks said that, oh, it took Nick a week to recover after that drunken stream on the ferry. No, I had a man cold. And
Those do take
everybody,
forever.
yeah, and all men and women who are married knows what a man cold is. And
They are pretty, deadly.
yeah,
Nearly deadly.
nearly deadly. And I try to do a few streams, and yeah, with various results. But for since about a few days, I'm doing much better. Okay, we are here for Jodi. It's Jodi Day.
Yes.
It is day 18, part 2. And for you who are currently watching, remember to switch between streams to give a thumbs up, especially from Dave's stream to my stream to give me a thumbs up, because Dave have won the like wars the last couple of times. So I have something. Yeah, 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 yeah. I need to win. But and he also won the gifting memberships last time, but I think I got him on the super chats.
Well, there
So
you
that,
go.
yeah, so it's a bit of a competition, but very very friendly,
I'm
very friendly
I'm still trying to figure
competition.
out the mystery message that's going on with the thumbnails. So I'm still
Oh,
all confused.
okay, yeah. A couple of months ago, someone discovered that. Uh, oh, there's something changing in the thumbnails, and yes, it is. Not every time, but sometimes something changes.
So I'm trying to suss it out, but
Mm,
my observational skills are about 50%
mm,
on half of the time.
mm. Yeah, after maybe 20 episodes of this, I started to discover I'm kind of running out of room. So maybe not have one every time. I mean, but if you watch on the first thumbnail to this thumbnail, you should be able to pick out a few of them. Okay. Irish Gigi came to hit like replay crew. Okay. Salbert is here. Of course, he's here.
Yay!
It's Jodi Day.
I know.
Jessica, Angst, and yeah, there's a bunch of people here. I didn't have time to set up a Rumble stream on this, so I will download this episode and upload it to Rumble later.
Sorry for the crinkling. I'm working on my petty patch for all the trials so that when I have a non-subtle sarcasm sign when I'm going to be
Mm,
extra super duper petty. Just,
mm. Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm just checking here to see if, yes, my stream is up. Is Dave's stream up?
I
It
believe
should
so
be.
because I thought I left a like on both, but I could be very wrong because,
Mm, yeah, okay, but both streams are up. Yeah, and here's the thing. I pinned Dave's link on top of my chat, but since Dave isn't here, he can't pin my link to his chat. So we'll be posting it Moderators, please post my link on Dave's chat on occasions. I really don't want to lose the like wars when he isn't here, when he abandoned us.
Yes, and as Dave's proxy, I would like to win. So ignore what he just said. I'm just kidding. I don't care. Let's let Nick win today. As Dave's proxy, I want Nick to win.
Yeah. Female Dave is correct. It's Nick's time to win.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm rooting for Poland in the next world conflict. It's time for them to win something.
Yeah,
Poland world domination.
Yeah, they have been killed-dosed enough times. The entire country. So yeah. But yeah, Saturday we left off, and it's starting to get a bit of animosity between the prosecution and the defense. And I haven't pre-watched anything, so I don't know if it will keep boiling. But I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a bit shouty, maybe. I don't know. Hi, Lou. And
Hello.
Jonathan. Yeah. So, yeah. There it is. And again, this is the new intro. No, this is remastered by Vielhammer Media. And I will, hold on, and I will post the link to his channel in both. So go over there and subscribe to him, because he's doing amazing work in repairing, restoring, and improving audio on trials, including Jodi Arias trial. So give him watch his videos, give him the time he needs to the watch hours and the subscriptions and stuff like that. Yes. But here we are. It's Jodi Day. Let's see what's going on. Silence. Okay.
Well, that's how I like my Jodi.
Let me show you what's Exhibit 414.
Yeah, they have been showing pictures or evidence. Yeah.
Do you remember when this was taken?
Oh, let's go back. This is supposed to be directly before the actual killings, where Jodi claims she already dyed her hair brown, back to brown, weeks before.
I mean, it's not exactly a blonde, but it's not dark brown. I mean, that's a honey blonde at best, I guess.
Yeah, because in this, the guy with the rental, when he claimed when she rented the car, she was blonde. So they are trying to refute that. And yeah, and that's poor doggy. Good
I
doggy. Dog
know.
and a yeah. Let's continue.
Who got custody of the dog?
Do you remember when this was taken?
Yes.
When was this taken?
In the spring, also 2008.
Who's that with you in the photograph?
That's my parents' dog. Her name is Jewel.
And it appears your hair is brown in these photographs.
Yeah, it goes kind of from maybe dark blonde or light brown to dark brown.
When did you dye your hair brown?
I don't remember the exact day, but it's in the text messages. Okay. It was while I was still in Mesa.
Moving back to, or forward for a minute to June 4th.
They are talking extremely slowly.
Earlier we saw photographs of you with brown
1.25.
hair. Or excuse me, on June 4th, we saw pictures of you in brown hair earlier in this trial. Did you change your hair color from this photograph until the time you got to Travis's house?
Trying to remember because I dyed my hair twice, and the first time it didn't take, that was in Mesa. So I did it again, but it was already dyed by then because it was not that dark until the second time. So.
Okay. You didn't go blonde?
I wouldn't have been able to go back to blonde.
Why not?
Well, I had been platinum blonde for about almost 5 years at that point. So as you can see, my natural hair color is pretty dark. And when you strip away all that hair color, the shaft of the hair it changes it. I don't exactly know, so I'm not a cosmetologist, but it changes the hair shaft. So when you deposit dye onto the hair again, it not only takes, but it sucks it up like even more. So it's now almost like it's stained in a way that you can't really remove it. I heard that you could actually strip it back to blonde, but by doing that to my hair of what it was, I wouldn't have really had hair left. It would have just broken off and fallen out. So it stayed dark.
Take a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad she's crying over her hair dye. That seems to be the most important emotional thing. I also get emotional about my hair. Ma'am.
Hey, look at that. Dave is here, and he pinned my...
I inadvertently gave you the wrong exhibit earlier. I'm going to now hand you, if I may approach, Your Honor,
Yes.
with exhibits
Yes, he did.
407 and 423.
Yeah, so now everybody from Dave...
I'm going to ask you if you recognize
and give me a like.
these exhibits.
Yeah, Dave, I just explained to everybody how you abandoned all of us because you had some mini school crap going on. You really didn't want to be here. And yeah, so I just explained that to everybody.
You pulled a full Cartman. You were like, "Who you got? I'm going home." And we were like, "No, stay. They love you." And pulled a full on Jane Fonda.
Okay. You mentioned just a moment ago that you dyed your hair brown in Mesa and that there was reference to that in one of the text messages. Would it refresh your recollection to take a look at these exhibits and determine if such a text was in there?
I'll look for it. It's not really in order.
If you have social media, don't be afraid to share the link here so we both get more subscribers and more views and stuff like that.
Yeah, let me do that right now.
And then everybody go subscribe to Mo.
If possible, if you'd want to. I do fun things. I do newsy news. It's amazing.
Okay, I think I found it. Yeah.
Okay, and having refreshed your recollection with the document, when did you dye your hair brown?
Well, it says three.
Section here says if you have to refresh your recollection, she can just give us the date.
If you could advise us what day, based on looking at that, you dyed your hair back to brown.
Yes, I would say it was on 3/20/08, but it says 3/21.
Here's-
We approach?
Okay.
Yeah, there's... Yeah. So they have... yeah, sidebar. And they are trying to get the date in. She can't really remember it, so she keeps looking down at the paper. That's not something she's really not allowed to do, only refresh, which is in stark contrast to, for instance, the death trial, and stuff like that when Dr. Hughes read from the paper, like more or less like this the entire time, instead of
Well,
fresh.
So if they knew this was going to be an issue, would they have highlighted the particular text message in mind beforehand?
This
Based
is
on your
her,
review
this is her day
of the
5 on
document.
the stand.
Oh,
Not telling us what
wow.
the document said, but based on your review of the document, what day did you dye your hair from blonde to brunette?
Would have been in the evening on the
Yeah.
20th of March.
So business sentencing is right now, and
And
I have
since that time,
a bit
you've never
low
gone back to blonde.
numbers,
Is
but
that correct?
every Tuesday.
No, I haven't. Well, this first time it didn't take very well, so I did
Okay.
it one more time. It was like I don't know how else to describe it, like a kind of like a dirty brown. It was sort of medium brown. It's not what I was going for. I wanted it darker.
All right. Now,
Suits the crime.
we've spoken earlier about, and some references
a
have been made
It is a nature's warning.
to,
Yeah, nature's own warning, redheads. Yeah, I know show business sentencing is right now. Everybody's covering it, and everybody wants to know. But me and Dave, every Tuesday, every Saturday, noon Eastern time, 6 p.m. Swedish time. So yeah, I'm counting on replay crew in this.
Okay, what I don't understand is how she managed to F up going from blonde to brown. It's not that hard. Your hair is your hair is primed to take that dye. How did she mess this up?
Yeah, and I don't have any experience in dyeing. I tried once when I was in my that month. I decided, oh, punk is interesting. So I tried to do Johnny Rotten platinum blonde spiky thing, but since I have so much red in my hair, it turned bright yellow.
Yeah, it's there's a science to it, but she probably was like, "Oh, this doesn't look dark enough. I don't look different enough from my stabby me."
Mm. Yeah, Gigi agrees. Going from lighter to darker is always easier. I don't know. I'm gray. And I'm perfectly fine with this. Perfectly fine.
Next week on Jodi's stream, we're making Nicholas go brunette.
No, there's not an amount of super chats that can dye my hair. No.
Oh, nuts.
I will install an app. Look at my brown hair and everything is sketchy and woggly and stuff like that.
your communication with Mr. Alexander. It wasn't just in person, it wasn't just by phone, verbally. You also communicated through text messages and other forms of internet chat. Is that correct?
Yes.
In these, so we have a better sense of your relationship, everything that led up to June 2008. Was he assertive and aggressive with you in these emails, in these text messages?
Very much authoritative.
Very much what?
Assertive, aggressive, and authoritative.
Okay. Do you recall some of the things he said to you in these text messages? And if you need a moment to refresh your recollection, you certainly can.
You're not talking about the instant messages? You're talking
No, right now let's talk about the text messages.
Okay.
Without reading what he said, do you recall some of the things he would call you?
Yeah, she just gave us a date. It doesn't have to be the time, the date, and whatever she's going to say that she's refreshed about.
Is this where we get 3 Whole Wonder?
The objection to that.
Judge, her recollection of what she doesn't have to give a date and time just to testify, that's not an appropriate objection.
You're muted.
Objection by foundation.
She was entered into evidence on day 6, part 2. All of
Oh.
her. Yeah. Yeah, and also Mr. Alexander was also entered into evidence because the technician from Port TV or Law and Crime or something was supposed to have audio only and remove the picture. He did the opposite. So we had no sound and nudity.
Well, you know, in the sometimes great things happen.
Yeah.
Oh, this poor family. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Date prior to indicating the statement.
Okay, I'll find it.
Why does Henry Winkler just look more and more upset?
I don't know.
I just feel like she's the kid in class that the teacher just got done explaining how to do something, and she
The one
raises
that
her hand and asks
I
the
remembered
question
was
that was
on-
just
Can you
explained.
give us the date?
Was on 5/26/08. Well,
What did he say to you on 5/26/08?
He called me, well, he said I look like a pure whore.
And that was on 5/26/08?
Yes.
And do you understand why he called you that? Was he upset? Something of that nature?
Yes. Well, he was upset about a lot of things that day, but there was a specific reason he called me that.
Why he called you a whore?
Yeah.
Why?
He found a comment that I left on another friend's page on his Facebook, on one of his photos.
And this, you said another friend's page. What are you referring to?
His Facebook page. The guy had a photograph up and I left what I thought was a funny comment on it.
Do you recall what the comment was?
Yes, it was a reference to the movie Anchorman. It's a comedy with Will Ferrell. And can I explain the context?
Well, let's say, first of all,
Oh, for
what was the
God's sake,
comment?
no.
I put, are those man boobs or are you just ripped?
Okay. And this was the comment. Travis was mad at this comment and called you a whore because you said you made a movie reference.
Yeah, it was a joke about the movie, from the movie.
Okay. Was there other discussions with him that day? Be they, specifically May 26th, be they verbal or written discussions?
There were these text messages and also a chat conversation and a phone conversation that followed.
Okay. Is this a chat conversation we heard in evidence earlier where he calls you a three-hole wonder
Yes,
and a slut
yes,
and a whore?
yes, and many other things.
What other things do you recall him calling you during that conversation?
Calls me a bitch. He tells me I'm worthless and he tells me I'm shit.
And to your understanding, this was about an Anchorman reference.
That's someone who have zero fucks left to give. I mean,
I have put on my petty patch. I would like to posthumously nominate the victim for possibly the best insult in the entire world ever created. The nomination goes to the decedent. Three-hole wonder is the best thing I have ever heard in my entire life. And, sir, we commend you. That is
Yeah.
all.
Posthumously, yeah.
Reference posted on a Facebook page.
That was one of many convoluted subjects that he was angry about.
Okay. Was there other things he was angry at you about
Yes.
that day? To your understanding, what were those things?
He was angry because I told him I would drop the subject of him getting help for his stuff and
What do you mean his stuff?
his
Hey, Farrell.
sexual problems. And well, we agreed to drop it as long as he got help. I didn't really want to bring it up anymore, but after he made that comment about sodomizing a little girl on the phone, then I was I was concerned that he wasn't making any progress. So I sent him another of the same little stack of pamphlets that I grabbed, and I mailed it to him without telling him. I just dropped it in the mail because after that phone call, it concerned me. And he blew up over that and some other things also.
Some other things. What other things?
I had missent a text message to his phone. It was supposed to go to Steve Carroll. And the nature of that text message was that, because Travis had my Gmail password and he was getting into it. And so Steve and I were chatting on this, and it created a fight when Travis found the conversations. So I sent Steve Carroll a text message. I meant to send him a text message saying, hey, let's use my Hotmail for now, or something like that. Because someone has my Gmail password. Unfortunately, it happens to be an ex-boyfriend. And it was kind of a long explanation, and I went to hit send and could see it was 2 messages on my phone, and it goes through 1 and then 2. And as I was sending it, it saw it was going to Travis Alexander, and I was like, oh crap. So I hit cancel as fast as I could, and it canceled the message, but the first one made it to him, and that was enough to piss him off. So he accused me of being a liar because I wasn't telling him about what was really going on with Steve and I, even though we've never met. And
Oh, you were lying,
and so
and
it just
he called
seemed
you a
compound.
liar.
There was aid.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure I had this in context. I
Yeah.
didn't want to take anything she said out of context, for heaven's sake. You know,
Yeah. She's been very liberal with the truth on occasions, and she kind of changes her story in 20-minute intervals on occasions, and
Now, was there ever any evidence, and I mean any scintilla of evidence, anywhere else other than her mouth hole, which we know is suspect, of him having any proclivities towards any children?
no,
Because what an absolute
yeah,
interesting
Uh,
human being to have to drag that out in front of the
Yeah.
family when you've already
yeah.
done this.
She claims he got her superhero underwear. Though there are no such thing in evidence so that's just her.
Okay, in Charlie's Angel, the new movie, or
Yeah.
well, it was new at the relatively new. You know, what's her face? Cameron Diaz
Mm.
dances in Spider-Man or Superman
Yeah.
underoos. That is, if Cameron Diaz did it, look,
Yeah.
and he wanted her to wear pigtails. Do we want to talk about how many people on Pornhub happen to be of age and still wear pigtails? I mean, these are not.
I would not know.
I
will refer to you on that.
Well, I mean, I've not done my dissertation yet for my Sexy Times Institute for the, Amy Harwick case. I haven't gone to the university. They're not accredited anymore.
Mm.
But I'm
Yeah,
guessing
but-
in the Las Vegas, Museum of Erotic History, this might be a common sort of thing. So for her to get up there and
Yeah, and
it's
Charlie's Angels, the original, came out in the year 2000. So none of this was, let's see here, when there were, no, that's the wiki for the TV show. If there was a Charlie's Angels 2 at some place.
We could get Nick to do pigtails on the Shat Face for Charity. That might happen. I think that's when we're going to have our best odds of that being a possibility in this timeline.
Yeah. On Friday, it's Shat Faced for Charity Part 2. And
The Reckoning.
Yeah, it is. I have just finished. Yeah, so that will be on Friday. I will put up the stream later this week for that. All right. Where were we? Is that it? Yes. So, pigtails, well, Shat Faced for Charity. You all know what to do. That is opening the wallet, give a larger sum to Zachary Anderson and a symbolic sum to me. And if we reach a certain level, maybe pigtails. I can't do braids, so that's out of the question. I've never been able to do it. I just fork it up completely. I have 6 or 7 nieces who uses me as a training device. So on occasions I have had those, but not by myself. Yes, Sal, this Friday. Okay, but we are here for Jodi.
Yes.
And then Steve and John Dixon and all these people. And then he was very angry about all that stuff.
You mentioned Abe. That's a reference to whom?
Abe Abdelhadi?
No.
Since you brought up Abe, if I could approach again, Your Honor, with Exhibit 438. You take a look at that and see if you recognize that.
Yeah. Apparently, YouTube is rolling out their "you have no choice" but ads. And there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know if it is on both me and Dave's stream. I've heard it from other streamers that really don't want ads, but all of a sudden they get ads. So, yeah.
Well, I really hope that mine have, because my email is full of ED prescription ads. I really hope that my videos are full of those too, because I feel like there has to be continuity in this craziness. And I at least want my ads to have continuity.
Expedia and a law firm. That's interesting. Well, Google ads are based on what you search for. So be careful what you reveal in the chat, because if you claim that, I don't know why they're showing hentai ads. Well, that's because of you, not because of me or Dave. Or maybe Dave, but not me. So be careful with what you reveal in the chat about the ads.
See, and I just get weird news sites because I go to all the different news sites to try to find newsy news, and I've got like some Korean news site pop up, and I'm like, I don't even think that's a news, but okay, I'm game.
And next stream with Sal, why don't you explain what ads you get after Saturday's Saturday with the Angel stream? That was one of the funniest streams ever when you were trying to find a date for Sal, but
oh, I know, that needs to be a regular stream. We just find convicts looking for love and or money. their next victim. Pre-justice for Sal.
Oh. Sal says, yes, I still get ads for herpes meds 10 years later. I searched the name of one prescription to see what it was. Of course it is, Albert. Of course. Okay. Okay, again, remember, switch back and forth between me and Dave to give us likes so we can press through the YouTube algorithm and everybody streaming about
Yes.
Sha business, so we get a few viewers at least, because today...
Sadly, the late night shows are coming back.
Yeah.
We must defeat them.
Yeah.
The evil is coming back.
Yeah, the strike is
The
basically
barbarians
over.
are at the gate again.
Yeah.
And
What was
Colbert
it?
will be unfunny.
They are doing a remake of The Office without any of the original cast from either the British or the American series.
Oh, this will be awesome.
Yeah.
Can they do it with Muppets? It'd be funnier if they did it with Muppets.
Oh, that would be funny. But somehow, I reckon it will be mostly
17 Mindy Kalings? Yes.
Yeah. Some of that sort.
Yes.
The object.
You take a look at that and see if you recognize that.
Yes.
What is that, Ms. Arias?
This is an email I composed to Abe on February 18th, 2007. I composed it at Travis's behest and then sent Abe the email and also forwarded Travis a copy afterward because he wanted to read it.
Move to exhibit number 438.
Sorry.
Judge, may I record hired a witness on this one?
You may.
If there's an objection.
You may.
With regard to this, it says subject forwarding our friendship, correct?
That's correct.
Wait a minute. What happened?
Yeah, I'm confused. Did we go to cross, or is this where, are they voir diring something? I'm confused.
Yeah, it seems like I feel like I missed something.
I composed it at Travis's behest and then sent Abe the email and also forwarded Travis a copy afterward because he wanted to read it.
Move to exhibit number 438.
Okay, they are showing an exhibit. Let's slow down to normal. And he's probably voir diring that.
Judge, may I record hired a witness on this one?
You may.
If there's an objection.
Now, when they're
May.
voir diring her
With
on
regard
the
to this,
exhibit,
it says subject.
Does that mean they're wanting foundation on the exhibit? They're wanting to see
Yeah.
how it came to be and what it pertains to, or what exactly are they trying to get to?
Well, I would assume that this is something the prosecution should have had, but he hasn't objected due to surprise evidence or anything. So I don't know why this is voir diring in front of the jury. This is odd for me.
Forwarding our friendship, correct?
That's correct.
And it does say that it's from you, right?
Yes.
And it does give a date, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it does say that it's to Travis Alexander, doesn't it?
The forwarded email is.
No, it doesn't say that. It says to, doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor. This is beyond voir diring the witness. This is cross-examination. He can wait his turn.
Overruled.
Take a look at exhibit 438 and see who the to line is.
I don't agree with the judge there. This is clearly
Yeah, he's definitely has his aggressive voice on.
Yeah. This was, in my opinion, a bad ruling from the judge. This is beyond the voir dire. And he didn't ask to approach the witness. This is intimidation tactics, which he is known for. Let's continue.
Well, he is an angry little man.
to travis.alexander@gmail.com.
This isn't, and there's underneath there a BCC. Do you know what that stands for?
Blind carbon copy.
You just told us, ma'am, that this was composed at Mr. Alexander's
Way
behest,
beyond
right?
the scope of a one
Yes.
year.
And that you sent it to Mr. Abdelhadi, right?
Yes.
And that you sent a copy to Mr. Alexander, right?
Afterward, yes.
You didn't do it at the same time? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
This is
Ma'am,
way
isn't it true that what
beyond
happened is that
1
you
year.
actually took this email?
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to object. If he wants to say this to prosecutors, but the foundation for this exhibit has been laid, and we move for its admission. He's already explained.
Counsel
before.
approach. Counsel approach.
This is strange. Yeah, this is clearly cross, and he haven't even asked about it.
Yeah,
properly
he
yet.
went straight into attack mode, which, I mean,
Yeah.
if he was trying to ascertain what it was, but then
Yeah.
he went into, didn't you send this later?
Yeah,
Didn't you do that? That would, I mean, again, as a non-lawyer, that seems a lot like cross-examination.
yeah. He is trying to preclude the defense questions about this, so he's cross-examining before the defense has a chance to ask about it.
It's in the Constitution. It's right there. It's pre-cross. It's
Yeah,
this,
pre-cross.
it's-
Yeah,
it's this little addendum we put in if you're the prosecutor.
yeah. And I'm a bit surprised here because the judge.
Ms. Arias, before you
Okay, we
forwarded
want that.
this email to Mr. Alexander, do you recall when you sent it to Mr. Abdelhadi?
Objection states that that's when it isn't forwarded, it's sent to Mr. Alexander.
Rephrase.
This email was a forwarded email, correct?
Yes.
To whom was it originally sent before you forwarded it to Mr. Alexander?
I first composed it and sent it off to Abe Abdelhadi.
And do you remember when that was?
I believe the date was February 18th, 2007.
So the same day that you forwarded to Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Okay. I move to admit Exhibit 438.
Anything else?
No.
Why did we write?
Yes, Gigi, this channel does not give legal, medical, or email advice.
Never. Yeah, do not ask me. I will not help you. I have no idea. I rarely know things. My goal in life is to be barely competent. I am at semi-competent right now. It's-
Yeah, I've been doing this crap for over 30 years, and I'm starting to get comfortable now. Just maybe a decade left to decade until I more or less officially can retire, or a year if you subscribe enough and stuff. Hint.
there you go, guys.
Hint.
Hint, hint, hint.
Help this old man get to retirement earlier so I can entertain you on the YouTubes and the internets.
The internets.com.
Yeah, the internets.com.
Help us make Al Gore's dream come true. Use the internet the way he intended.
Oh, who can imagine we get sidetracked?
I can't, yeah, the things that come out of, well,
Oh.
me.
Did you watch when I had Steve Gosney on?
No, I didn't.
Oh. It was amazing. It was a Tuesday and Dave couldn't be on. And we got through for that roughly an hour and 15 minutes. We got through roughly 12 minutes of trial because we just kept talking. It was amazing. That's an amazing stream. It's
I'll have to
few
go
weeks
back
back.
and look at it because he's so smart and he's such a cool guy. And I'm afraid that he's going to get Sarah Boone and then he's going to become a jaded old person like me
Yeah.
because he is my model person when I tell people, like, a good, nice, kind, good Christian person. I'm like, he's the model you want to look at. I'm a terrible person. Like, don't look at me. I'm like a bad example. Look at him. He's a good person. Okay. I'm afraid he's going to get stuck with Sarah Boone, and then he's going to, we're just going to hear the screaming from Florida.
Yeah. And of all the people who can call themselves law tubers, he is by far the most competent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's written the article. He has a book. He has a minor citation in the Magna Carta. You know, he was there when Hammurabi maybe had the first principles. We don't know.
Yeah, he was on. He had the appellate of John Wilkes Booth, and
he was trying to get that lady who just had the hotel out of prison. He was like, she was just the hotelier. Why are we hanging this woman? And they're like, Mr. Gosney, we cannot. She kept the nest where the plan was hatched.
Yeah,
and
he wrote an article in the Bible, and
it was somewhere in Revelations. And yes, I know there's only one. I'm from the Midwest. We add an S to everything except for Target because that's just how we are. Look, it is what it is.
Okay. Well, we are here for Jodi.
Yes.
Let's go
Okay. Now that we've been sidetracked.
Yeah.
Why did you write this letter to Mr. Abdulhadi?
Travis was giving me a hard time about us remaining friends. He felt that there was too much history between us because we had gone on one date.
And this reads a bit like a breakup letter. You make the comment that what matters to me is that I am accountable for, what matters to me is how that which I am accountable for would make Travis feel.
I don't see what paragraph.
I'm looking at the paragraph here, beginning with the word what.
Okay.
Is she supposed to be able? I thought she wasn't supposed to read this. Or I guess if they
What
have
do you
it
mean
up
by
on the
that?
magic board.
I just wanted to Travis and I already become official. Well, I guess I just call it official because that's when we decided we were going to stop dating other people. So I wasn't dating Abe during this time, but I was still his friend. And it's very common at the prepaid legal events to hug associates that you know, kind of like we're all a big family. So Travis was not comfortable with me hugging Abe. He had said that his friend Chris called him and told him that he saw me hugging Abe at one of the Super Saturdays in Anaheim. And it made Travis uncomfortable. And then I thought to myself, would I have done that? Would I have hugged Abe if Travis were with me? And I realized that I wouldn't have. So then I realized, well, that means I'm acting differently in front of Travis than I would otherwise. And I didn't like that I didn't want to be that way. So I decided that I wanted to conduct myself and treat Abe the way I would treat him if Travis were standing right next to me.
Okay, I'm a little confused. When we go to the paragraph beforehand,
Sorry.
you said, when we hugged at the Grove a few weeks ago, my intention was nothing more than to warmly greet a friend and business associate. Right?
Yes.
That's what it says? What would be wrong with that? In your mind, how about let's start.
There was nothing wrong with it in my mind. I didn't think I was in the wrong, but I realized it made Travis uncomfortable or
Hey,
unhappy.
Vielhammer is here.
So because it made Travis uncomfortable and unhappy that you hugged a friend and business associate, you were encouraged by Mr. Alexander in order to avoid his wrath to write this letter, right?
Just me.
Restate.
In order to avoid
that was
Mr. Alexander getting mad, raising his voice at you and making you shake, is that why you wrote this letter?
No, because I wasn't shaking yet at that point. I'd only seen his wrath one time. Actually, I hadn't seen it. I heard it over the phone.
Okay.
I just wrote it more so that he would feel better about my interaction with Abe and so that Abe was on the same page as me so that he didn't take any offense when I was less warm or friendly toward him.
Why? You just told us a minute ago that you didn't think there was anything wrong with hugging a friend and business associate at the Grove. Travis did. Why was his feelings on the issue more important to you than yours?
I felt maybe it was just not a good way to look at things at that time, but I used to believe that when you're in a relationship, the other person's feelings should take precedence.
Is that what you mean when you say his happiness is of cardinal significance to me and his feelings, opinion I value more greatly than gold?
Yes.
Who writes like this?
The next paragraph begins with,
Jodi?
I didn't write this email to expound upon my secret
Okay.
worship Travis agenda.
An
What does that mean?
overwrought teen girl.
Because it sounds throughout the email like I'm putting him on a pedestal, and I really was, but that wasn't really the reason for the email. So it was kind of just a joke, but that's why I wrote that.
And you also write in this email, I think you're a great person who has never had a single bad intention towards me, and I appreciate all the time you've taken to impart your knowledge, perspectives, and experiences. You didn't hold any ill will to Mr. Abduhadi, right?
No.
You didn't want to kick his ass in the bathroom, like we heard Mr. Alexander did yesterday?
No, I didn't.
As it relates to your understanding, I know we talked, is this part of the conflict between Mr. Alexander and Mr. Abduhadi?
Yeah, that's one component of the whole conflict regarding that subject.
Did you ever ask Travis to write a similar letter to the woman who was hugging him in Oklahoma City?
No, I would never have done that.
Why not?
I didn't like the way it felt when he asked me to end my friendships. So I wouldn't have done that for him. And I've never done that with any of my boyfriends.
Did he ask you to end other friendships with male friends?
Yes.
Could you describe that for us?
Yes, he didn't want me to be friends with John Dixon.
And so we're clear, Mr. Dixon was the gentleman brought up in the tape we heard yesterday?
No, not in the tape. He was the one that we fought about prior to our leaving for Havasupai.
Okay. And he was just a friend, right?
Just a friend. Well, there was a sort of a romantic interest there, but it wasn't anything that I would let blossom because he wasn't a member of the church.
Were you encouraged or motivated by Mr. Alexander to write a letter like this to Mr. Dixon?
Yes, I don't think it was quite as long, but there was a similar letter written.
Okay. Was it humiliating to you to write these letters?
It was awkward. I just tried to write from my heart.
And aside from Mr. Abduhadi and Mr. Dixon, were there other males to which Mr. Alexander wanted you to end your friendship?
I can't recall. He was just hostile about most interactions I had with guys, but those two stand out because he actually wanted me to stop being friends with them.
Okay. And you did?
In Oklahoma City, well, almost. In Oklahoma City, he demanded that I call Abe right then and there that same night that he saw him and I talking and end our friendship. So I called, I was trying to think of some alternative or something he would be happy with, some kind of compromise. And I couldn't come up with anything. So I reluctantly called him with that in mind. And Abe did most of the talking. He's very chatty. And the more he talked, he seemed kind of level-headed. And I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It seemed confrontational or a little bit bold for me to say, hey, let's stop being friends, and unnecessary at the same time. So what I did instead is I just made a promise to myself that I wouldn't make any effort to contact him at all as long as Travis and I were together.
And this was in Oklahoma City. I want to be specific because we've mentioned a couple different conferences. What year was that?
That was March 2007, Oklahoma City.
And just so we're clear, you went to Oklahoma City with Mr. Alexander in March of 2007 and March of 2008, is that correct?
Yes, both.
Okay. And when you went in March of 2008, this was subsequent to a history trip, correct? Or did you just go to?
Yeah, it was all the same trip, but we hit all the church history sites first, then went to convention.
Okay. Did Mr. Alexander, well, let's talk about this. Did Mr. Alexander ever encourage you to end friendships with women?
Yes.
Could you describe that for us?
Yes, he didn't like my friend Rachel. One of the only close friends I had in the church. I met her in Palm Desert. She went to the same branch. The branch is the same thing as a ward. They just call it a branch when it's a smaller number of members in the group. So it was a branch in Palm Desert. She was part of that, and our friendship blossomed. And
Is this the same Rachel you lived with when you moved to Mesa?
yes, that's the one I moved in with.
And to your understanding, why did Mr. Alexander want you to end your friendship with Rachel?
He became hostile not toward her because he didn't interact with her a lot, but anytime she came up in our conversations, after I had a conversation with him, which came after she and I had the conversation that we need to go to our bishops.
Yourself and Rachel had a conversation about going to the bishop. What does that mean, or could you just explain that to us?
Yes, my understanding is when you're a member of the church, most things, if we're all sinners, is the idea, nobody's perfect. So you repent, and a lot of times that stays between you and God and within your heart. And, you go through your own repentance process until you feel like you have repented sufficiently. But when there are certain sins that are more egregious, it is recommended that you go to your bishop so that he can counsel you and guide you toward back to the straight and narrow, in other words. And so sexual sin is definitely on that list.
So your conversation with Rachel then related to sexual sin?
Yes.
And was this the same conversation you referred to a while back about where you told her you were having oral sex with Travis?
Yes.
Okay. And did Travis want you to go to the bishop with this information?
No.
And would I be correct in assuming then that Travis wanted you to end your friendship with Rachel because she encouraged you to go to the bishop?
He was just hostile about her afterward. I don't really know the reason.
Okay. Aside from Rachel, did he want you to end your friendship with anyone else? Any other females, excuse me?
Nobody comes to mind. I want to say yes, but I can't think of anybody.
Okay. Getting back to the text messages, you mentioned that on May 26th, he called you a whore. Moving back in time, were there other text messages where he called you names?
When I was looking through these just now, it seemed like they were more like complaints or accusations of things that I did wrong.
So are there any text messages for a call for him?
No, that wasn't my question. Apart from calling you names, if I heard you correctly, you said there was accusations in these text messages. Is that what you said?
Accusations and complaints about just things that he felt I did wrong or things that didn't please him.
Okay. Let's start with accusations, and then we'll work our way back to the things you did wrong. And if they're one and the same, so be it. What were the accusations he made against you in text messages? And if you need a minute to look, please do.
Okay. There was a bunch in here.
I mean, just sounds like a toxic relationship that he wanted out of. She was a side chick and she didn't know it.
Well, she was. Here's one of the things that when she, within a 20-minute span, kind of reveals her, not reveals herself, but first she described that she was semi-dating someone at the same time as she slept with Travis. Travis had a new girlfriend. 20 minutes later, she says she is all for monogamous relationships.
You can be She's an ethical serial non-monogamist monogamist.
Yeah,
It's
monogamous.
she is a situational monogamist.
Situational. Yeah. If it sits, it fits.
It can happen. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. And she also described, because they're Mormons, so they described soaking. Do you know what soaking is, Mo?
Oh God, no, but I'm sure I'm gonna learn, and I'm sure I'm going to be horrified. But go ahead, continue.
Since it's no movement, it's not sex. So it's just insert and stay there. This is something.
No, I'm pretty sure that still will get you pregnant. I
Yeah.
am here to tell you, I am not an expert on many things, but having 6 children, that will get you pregnant.
Yeah.
Take
And,
it from Auntie Mo.
Yeah, and another thing that apparently, I'll keep calling it Mormons. I know it has another name, but
Oh,
what the teens do to avoid this no sex is that they have expanded this no movement by
Oh God, no.
do the soak and then have a friend rock the bed. Because technically it's not them doing the movement.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So you have someone jumping on the bed next to you while you are
Yeah, somehow
tab A in slot B.
Yeah.
That is more kinky to me than
Yeah.
backseat of Dad's Corvair. No, people no. Y'all,
Yeah.
no. What? Who? What? What? Do you still have to wear the magical underwear while doing all of this?
Apparently, no.
Okay, how do you ask your friend, like, hey, my girlfriend and I am going to be here. Would you mind be our designated jumper tonight?
I have no idea.
Does Hallmark
Me and Dave
charge
have
that?
been trying to reach out to either Jeff or Danny to have this explained to us. Because we really want it explained to us by them.
I have all the I mean, so how what man made this up? Because God bless it. I would like to posthumously also nominate whatever man came up with soaking, because, sir,
Yeah.
real men's of honor and valor salute
Yeah.
you.
And apparently, since he called her the three-hole wonder, the first time they had intercourse, they entered the back door, because apparently that's not.
But that's not lubricated, so it's not soaked. Therefore, it's not. I'm confused.
She has described, because this very chastity-prone woman had a lubrication of choice already before.
Oh God, I give up. I can't. Now every LDS person I meet, I'm just going to think soaking first, and then I'm going to have to remind myself not to think it. So my face is going to do one of those things where I have to not think the thing that I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah.
So wonderful. Thank you, Nicholas.
Yeah.
My internal monologue will now always have that.
Yeah. Now that will be completely burnt into your brain. The way yes conducts.
Well, so maybe that's what's wrong with Ruby, from the Ruby and Jodi thing. Because holy God, oh my God, if that was your introduction to Smexy Times, maybe that's why you went all crazy.
Oh, that was so funny.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but Tuesday is the shorter stream day. Saturday is the longer stream day. Thank you, Mo, for showing up.
You're welcome.
much appreciated. I know the numbers are nowhere near where it should be. So I say this day doesn't count in the competition. It has nothing to do with the Dave currently being in the lead. I'm just declaring this day doesn't count. Yeah.
Well,
So
I'll allow it. As female
yeah.
Dave, I'll allow it. We call a mulligan on this. I learned about soaking. I have to go wash my brain with bleach, and I can't drink because I have to go pick up the boys. This is an awful thing. And then
yeah. Yeah. Either way, thank you all for showing up. On my channel, I will be redirecting you to Jeff. Tomorrow, me and Mo will continue the Delphi case with part 3 in our series about the Delphi case, and we have reached the arrest. Tomorrow,
yes,
10 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Swedish time. So you will be much welcome back tomorrow with huge numbers.
Yes.
That goes for you too over on Replay Crew.
So did Shabusiness get out in 10 years? Is she going to be gone for a long time?
I don't know. The last time I checked, it was a break.
Or are they letting the victims talk?
Yeah, there and some shrink who also was related to her, and yeah. So
well, you have to have that part too.
Yeah. Okay. Shabusiness is still ongoing. So I have an invite to Jeff's stream as well.
Okay.
So jumping over there.
Well, remember to come by at 7 for Nightly Newsy News with me and Fry, possibly.
Yep.
He's sleeping. He's sleep chasing something and wagging his tail. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, Mo. Bad day for abandoning us, and I'll see you all over at Jeff's stream or tomorrow. Bye-bye. And press the end stream.